Joseph again. During many years that I'm considering millions of issues, I gave up resolving issues when I was very young. I was not I was not able to resolve uh, serious issues at the time. I was overwhelmed if they presented to me the world of politics, but I could intuitively find a solution to simple questions. In all the issues that I've considered during many, many experiences, whatever came to my mind, some of it was about democracy and republic. When I look at it now, what is a republic and what it is a democracy, and it appears to be two political parties in the United States. Now, what is a republic and what is a democracy? The republic is a way to portray the existence of many people in a certain area. If they are defined socially, because you cannot define them by their opinions or by their political or by beliefs or by colors or by sex or whatever. The only definition that stands still is republic. Republic gives a certain group of people living on a piece of land a sense of unity, that they are together. There is a republic. They could be of different nations, perhaps. They can be like in America. They could be of different belief systems, like in America. They could be of different opinions, but still, a republic is where they all feel comfortable, where they live. This is a republic, which is not necessarily a nation. I don't take America as a nation. I don't think Americans as a nation. Still, nation is a comfortable term for United Nations because they rely on nations, so they need nations everywhere. So the Americans are nations, the Israeli are nations, but they are not nations. They are just a big number of immigrants that live on the same piece of land, and they live in a republic. A republic like in a jungle of trees. There are many trees, there are many animals, there are many phenomena. So the republic is an overall description of this existence together on a piece of land. So I pretty much approve of the term republic. A rule themselves is a self-rule. The people rule the issues of land. The people rule the issues that are in concern, and everybody in a democracy has this equal voice, and they can all express their voice. So this is the democracy, is where people meet together. It can be you can call them an assembly, you can call them caucuses, you can call them local assemblies of people, group of people. Anyway, people come for a certain issue that bothers them, that is in their concern to talk about it. Now, in a natural environment, if people would come uh, in a natural environment, unlike in the current establishment. In a natural environment where people came and they were talking about certain issue that is their concern, they would most likely meet other people with a similar concern, or people who are involved in it, or people who could be influencing, or people who are in any way involved in this theme that they are busy with. So people will come to the assembly where they meet other people and try to resolve issues that are in their own best interest. However, because of the establishment, what happens is that you have people come on the podium and they speak their mind, they talk, and the other one talks, and then they end the vote. In most cases, the people who are really informed and could be effective in this issue are very few of them. The rest are just pulled to a different direction for a different reason by different people for different end, to vote for something that they literally know nothing about. So the issues are never resolved, or they don't have a good chance to resolve. The overall government that rules the agriculture, that rule the religion, that rule all aspect of social work as they would like to describe them and contain them, they do the job of taking an issue from where it could be solved to an area where it will be withered away and disappeared, or passed with the time, or be handled by the people who care for it eventually. But it would take the power of the meeting from the individual who could do something to a wider scene where nothing can be achieved. That is what it is. A democracy, an institution of democracy. I mean, institution of democracy says this: you have a Senate or you have a Congress where everybody comes together and they vote about stuff that only a few of them know about. So they have to convince the rest to give letters and present evidence to convince them that this is this way or another way. But the issue is not resolved. And the issues do not even find the real root. So for me, conceptually, you can say that democracy is a way that the people self-rule themselves in groups. It's a concept of communication for resolving issues, and a republic is where they live, practically live. All they live in a republic where they do whatever they do, individually, freely, and then there is the democracy, that is to say that they rule themselves. But if there is a big institution that is standing for democracy, if there is a party that is a democracy, it's like saying that there's a party for mathematics which rules how mathematics should be developed or should be understood. So it's different categories altogether, different disciplines. The republic talks about living people, and democracy is talking about their ability to join and to rule themselves. But it doesn't mean that there will be a big overall voting about everything, because this is just taking the reality of the situation and making it into nonsense. Now, if you want to talk about American impeachment now of Trump, and there is a debate over things that people don't understand at all, why the United States was helping Ukraine around against Russia, as they call it. It has a completely different origin. This whole thing has a different origin, and the origin is basically, as far as I looked at it, and I'm looking at specific people, the specific places with a specific history of Ukraine, of Crimea, of Khazarian land, which I don't want to speak about Khazarian. I don't want to speak about this. This thing is so loaded, but it's never been discussed. Why there is this conflict between Russia and in Ukraine? If there is a conflict, why there is this conflict? So the Americans want to think that there is nations and they fight between themselves, and they would sell sell them weaponry, and then they will help them to kill each other. And for them, the nation, the sense of nation, United Nation, the borders and the countries and everything they've established is absolutely doesn't have hold anywhere in truth. The problem of Ukraine, if I would go a little bit further with it, is a question of psychopathology, craziness. It's a mental, not as a mental, it's a clinical diversion of DNA that started those who are control maniacs. And they are spreaded, and you see the spreading of them from Ukraine, from Chimera, and from other places, like from Jerusalem. And you have other places in the world where the sense of control, of holiness, of something sacred that is need to be fought for. All this idea to give too many people a sense of reality that is actually in service to a few individual people. I mean, you will not get to the fundamental of the problem of Ukraine other than psychological, in-depth, morbid, I can say, non-human intervention in human society since thousands and thousands of years. This is the source of the trouble in Crimea, in Vatican. They actually took over the world with their distorted DNA type. So you have to look at these people in particular to realize what's going on, and not go about politics, which is taking you far, far, far away from the issue. Yeah, so this is what I thought about it. Thank you for watching. I'm Joseph.